So even if Joe Biden did want to protect our most cherished liberties, he probably wouldn't be able to do it because he more or less can only campaign on a rhetorical platform of gibberish. Take a listen to the latest.
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened?
Yeah, that's the guy who's going to defend all of our liberties and bring us back to a sophisticated understanding of checks and balances in the American. I don't think so. I think he's rambling incoherently about spaghetti sauce. And it's not just one isolated incident. We've played many on this show. The Trump campaign right now is a devastating ad. The ad doesn't include any people openly attacking Joe Biden. The ad is just a comparison of Joe Biden in 2008 and Joe Biden in 2020. Don't forget, they're blaming right now. The Democrats are saying, oh, these attacks on Joe Biden, it's just about his childhood stutter. He hasn't lost a step. He's still totally with it. You sure about that? Take a listen.
You ask anybody in there whether or not
Biden,
the
2008.
economic and foreign policy of this administration has made them better off in the last 8 years. And in
This is
addition
Biden
to
2020.
in addition to that, we have to make sure that we are in a position that we can insure every single solitary kid.
2008.
We can provide catastrophic health insurance right off the bat. We can do that for the cost of just one thing, the tax cut for people in the top 1%.
2020.
I don't know. You got to give them to the people who are going to spend the money. You got to deal with making sure American companies can be competitive. Have a health care plan that doesn't put them at a disadvantage when they compete overseas. There's during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than he called it
What happened to Joe Biden? That's the only question at the end of the ad. It's undeniable. What the media like to do now, what the Democrats like to do is memory hole everything that happened more than 5 minutes ago. So you just don't remember. They don't show you clips of Joe Biden, even in 2008. Forget about 1998, 1988, 1978. The guy's been around a long time. It's not a childhood stutter, okay? He's lost a step. He's lost more than a step. He's forgetting where he is. He's forgetting what his name is. And Trump has received some criticism. The campaign has received criticism for going on this line of attack. Part of that is people think that we're setting expectations too low here. As conservatives, we should let people see what's going on at the debates and make a judgment for themselves. The trouble is the left is openly trying not to debate. And the Biden campaign is saying, we want to debate, but that's BS, because all the people around the Biden campaign who are buoying up his entire candidacy are doing their damnedest to cancel these debates. The New York Times, left-wing columnists, left-wing TV show hosts, even comedy hosts, even people in the general popular culture don't want Biden on that debate stage. Here's Jimmy Fallon, right, as mainstream, a kind of center-left comedian as you get, saying, oh, come on already, who needs debates?
Speaking of the president, his campaign wants to make some changes to the debate schedule. Normally there's just 3, but check out what they're proposing.
The Trump campaign is asking for a 4th presidential debate to be held in the first week of September to get ahead of early voting.
Oh my God, we're debating about the debates? They haven't even started. I'm already exhausted. At this point, who even needs debates? Who is undecided? Who's tuning in like, oh, I want to see what this Donald Trump guy's all about. Then I'll make my mind up. I need at least 3 debates. Haven't figured out who I'm going for yet. Then once I do, after the 3rd debate, maybe the 4th one, then I'll listen. Actually, I don't mind another debate as long as it's just Trump naming things he sees in the room. Podium, moderator, Biden, camera, TV. That's the last day for that joke.
Notice who was missing from that riff. I won't even call it a joke. It wasn't particularly funny. You heard some groans out in the audience. Joe Biden was missing. It was all about Trump. The whole thing, right? He says, is there anyone out there who doesn't have his mind made up about Trump? Well, what about people who want to make up their mind about Biden either? You're not just voting against somebody. You have a candidate. The Democrats don't really have a candidate. They have this empty shell of a man who can't remember his own name and who's been an empty suit from the beginning. And what they want you to to believe is that this election is only about Donald Trump, but it's not. Elections are choices. They're binary choices in America. If you vote against Donald Trump, that means you're voting for Joe Biden. Does anybody really think Joe Biden can be president? Is competent, is fit to be president? I never thought he was, but he certainly isn't now. I mean, just at a very practical managerial level, the man does not appear to have his wits about him, whatever those wits were. So if you make it about those two guys, I think Trump wins. Trump's pitch for the last few days is, don't forget, not last few days, last few weeks at least, is we need order, we need law and order, we need some stability in this country. I'm a competent man, I'm an adult, I've got my wits about me, I'm not a child. And then there's Joe Biden, who's kind of watching television or something in his basement, not even campaigning, not even knowing what this campaign is about. Don't let them do this to you. Don't let them hide. This is part of the reason why they want to cancel the debates, is they want to keep it about Trump for as long as possible. Don't let them do it. Because they're going to gaslight you on it too. I kid you not. I was unfortunately watching some CNN over the weekend. I've been traveling a little bit, so you're in an airport. That is the time you watch CNN. And Brian Stelter had the audacity to suggest on his show with a number of guests that the Biden campaign is being treated unfairly because the media, the mainstream media, are too pro-Trump. Take a listen.
If you look at the 1990s and the way that Rush Limbaugh and others sort of sharpened their teeth on Bill Clinton, this has been the way they've built audiences for 3 decades now.
Yeah, I don't want to claim it's new. I just am arguing that it's getting worse. It's getting more severe. Aaron, your view of this, when you see entire media companies essentially exist to tear down Joe Biden, is there an equivalent to that on the left tearing down Trump?
There really isn't. And, what I would say, it's really a diet of this type of information that a lot of these voters are getting. A lot of the voters that I talk to, I can, when I interview them, I do hear them saying a lot of the talking points that sound very familiar from some of these shows, which I try to listen to when I'm out on the campaign trail or when I'm at home, watching TV. You can hear these comments being echoed by voters, and that this is the diet that they're on. AM radio, conservative talk. Also, social media. I mean, the Trump campaign is running a full-blown campaign on social media that is completely off the radar for a lot of regular media is not covering this.
There is a media company dedicated to going after Joe Biden. Is there anything like that on the left dedicated to going after Donald Trump, other than ABC, NBC, CBS? Which had over 92% negative coverage of Donald Trump from the beginning, or the New York Times, or the Washington Post, or MSNBC, or CNN, or the whole media, the entire mainstream media have been hysterically anti-Trump from day one.
Hey, Michael Knowles here, and the fact is, I have very expensive tastes, so please, be sure to subscribe to the Daily Wire on YouTube because I depend heavily on your support. Thank you very much.